When does criticism turn into bigotry? Does it have? Is there a point at which is there a point at which someone being critical of behavior or an idea goes from simply being criticism of a behavior or an idea into actually stereotyping an entire group and becoming bigoted against that group? What about power differentials? What about when the group that is considered by the majority to be a lesser group is then subjected to the will of that majority? Does that matter? Do we as human beings have a responsibility at all to our fellow human beings when they are being targeted by the majority and demonized? It doesn't really matter whether or not the claims are partially true or not. What matters is, what about the exception? What about the person that the majority claims is a vile, evil, up to no good individual spreading a cancer on society? Is it important to protect those people? Does it matter? I mean, is it important to protect the rights of people we don't agree with? If we exercise our freedoms in such a way that it brings pressures on the rights of others who are not in the majority, are we exercising our freedoms responsibly? It's really funny to me that this whole thing keeps revolving around freedom of speech, because freedom of speech basically entails the right to express yourself, the right to express how you feel through words. But what's the point of freedom of speech? Freedom of speech works if democracy works. What if democracy fails you? What if you're a black man in the early 20th century in America, in the South, or during the 60s, during the Civil Rights Acts? What if democracy fails you? Well, Martin Luther King believed in peaceful protest. And, God bless him. There's some interesting history tied up in all that. Was it Martin Luther King, like Gandhi, peacefully resisting the state that brought about the Civil Rights Act of 1964? Was that all it was? Or did maybe Malcolm X have a hand in that too? Did maybe the fact that there were some angry black men who were going to do some bad things to some white people's shit, maybe that had a hand in it too? And let's not forget that it was a bunch of white guys that eventually got around to granting this crazy, this privilege of just being afforded the basic rights that any other, not just citizen, but human being in this country should have. And And what about gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgendered folks? Where are they today? Do they have rights? Well, they have some. They don't have all of them. Do you suppose maybe the ball would get rolling a little faster if somebody was, threatening to blow some shit up? Maybe. I'm not justifying it. It's a sad state of affairs. But when powerless people have nothing but their voice, and their voice doesn't amount to anything, they can resort to some pretty awful things to try to force the majority to recognize their grievances. And I think it's kind of ironic that a bunch of white, Western, well-educated people can't see that maybe, just maybe, the reason that the Islamic world was offended by those Danish cartoons wasn't just simply because they were depicting the Prophet Muhammad, but maybe it was also because they were depicting him wearing a bomb on his head. Maybe that had something to do with it. Maybe the fact that their countries are currently occupied by foreign forces and their resources are being utilized by Western powers and monopolized by the West. Maybe there's a certain amount of frustration, let's say, with the West. And maybe you're missing the point with your Draw Mohammed Day. Maybe you're not getting the point. Why are people mad at you? Is it simply religion? Is anything ever that simple? Think about it. Or don't. The Gulf of Mexico is filling with oil. Nashville's underwater. Just one more problem. Good night.